the questions. Maybe from, yes, Mr. Yanis.
Thank you. Thanks everyone, and it's a great pleasure to be back in Daegu. This is my second time actually, and each time is becoming increasingly better and more engaging and more exciting. I was making a comparison earlier that this is becoming better than CES, and I would rather come here than Las Vegas. But my name is Yanis, I'm with Plug and Play, I'm on the investment team. I've been focusing on mobility investments, deep tech, clean tech, energy, construction, all the industries that historically have not been too exciting and not too sexy, if you will. And finally the time has come when technology is so advanced and AI can enable change and disruption in all of these industries, and the time is now. And events like this and platforms like this and communities like this is what makes it possible. Again, great pleasure being here. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for your presence here today. I actually saw how happy you were because you were dancing as you were coming into this event this morning. Maybe too much information. Let's move on. Yes.
We love a good dance. Hi everyone, my name is Katie Nowak. I am the CEO and founder of Canvas. We're an innovation and strategy agency that helps organizations grow. So we help to due diligence, new products, services, ventures, and markets. I'm also the Director of Investor Relations at Ultra Venture Partners, where we invest in the next generation of private technology giants. So those are companies that you may have heard of, maybe, Anthropic, OpenAI, Anduril, Shield AI, and companies like that. So really excited to be here. I want to echo what Nana shared. This is my second year in Daegu, and it's becoming a very much looked forward to tradition. I love being here and learning from all of you and enjoying time with incredible Plug and Play community. So thank you so much for having me.
Yay.
Hey guys, similar to the two of them, it's my second time being in Daegu, and it's kind of our annual trip at this point, and we very much appreciate it and enjoy it. So Rachel, thank you very much for having us and the entire Plug and Play team. So my name is Victor, I'm based in Singapore. I'm the CPO at TalkWiki. We're a late stage health tech startup. You can think of us as LinkedIn for doctors. We're the largest network of doctors in Southeast Asia. We have offices across Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan, and we're now entering Japan as well. Yeah, very happy to be here and looking forward to our discussion.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is not my second time, but it's my first time today. So I'm quite different behind this banner. So my name is Lu Chuan Boon. I'm from Malaysia. So currently I'm the Chief Operating Officer for CDEC. So for the idea of CDEC, we are from the state government. So state government is similar like the Daegu city. So I'm one of the agency in the state government of Selangor. So we are the largest city contributing the GDP. So together, I think what we do in Malaysia, so basically we are running some what we call the accelerator program. So today we bring about 7 companies joining the Plug and Play event here. So they are the booth at the back. We can have a visit of their company, their solutions. Besides running the accelerator program, one other program we are running now is focusing on semiconductors. So we are now helping in Malaysia. We are hosting the first Malaysia IC design park, where we will be hosting the IC design company in Malaysia. So just a short briefing about what we are doing now. Thank you.
Thank you, and we truly welcome you all. Good to see you again, and good to meet you. And because we're slightly behind the schedule, I'm going to combine the first 2 questions into one, because we want to hear from you. So what does global startup collaboration mean in your region today? And what types of startups are best positioned for cross-border expansion right now from your individual market perspective? Yes, maybe this time from you? Yes.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned, I think the most important part for the global collaboration is all on the co-creations. So looking at the co-creations means that we can work, let's say we are a Malaysian startup, we have some good ideas. We can work with some of the partners across globally, like in Korea, for instance. So we have about the companies that the accelerator program, we have about 250 of the startup companies inside our accelerator program. So they can work with other companies outside of Malaysia. For instance, like Korea, we work closely with Taiwan, and also I will be bring stuff to globally like Japan, Korea, China. So I think this is something that we can say that the cooperation is very important especially for the global partnership. And I think just now the second answer you were asking about what's the startup. And today we bring about 7 AI companies on the AI solutions. I think like what's the most important for Malaysia, we're looking at it also, especially for the smart city. And I think this is something the solution that can be worked together. And for instance, I have one company is called City Stage. They are focusing on the smart city solution. And this is something that we can maybe can be one of the example that we can work closely.
Yes.
And just to build up on the Malaysian story coming out of Singapore, I think a lot of people think of Singapore and Southeast Asia as one region. And you know, when I moved there about a decade ago, everyone was talking how Southeast Asia is going to be the next China, and how it's going to be like one market, and it has so much potential, and demographics really made sense. But the reality a decade later is that yes, the potential is there, the demographics still make sense, but the market is very fragmented. And you have very different countries with different religion, different language, different culture, and for you to be able to successfully navigate the waters is actually quite complicated. Some countries like Malaysia are quite developed, and Singapore, but then you go to countries like Vietnam and Indonesia, and I was just talking to Wayne earlier today, and he said that even opening a bank account can take, in the Philippines, I think it was about up to a year. So it is pretty challenging, and I think to be successful when you operate in this part of the world, you need to be very, very street smart. You need to spend a lot of time on the ground to understand how to navigate all that. Because it's very different than how business is done in Europe or in North America, but I'm sure, you know, my colleagues here are going to speak about that.
Interesting. Yes, please.
I'm happy to jump in and talk a little bit about the States. So it's helpful to sort of root our investment activity in some of the key trends that are happening in America when we talk about global expansion. So in the first 6 months of this year, over $60 billion were invested in Silicon Valley. That's a drastic increase from last year. It's about $34 billion in the same time period. The predominant focus of those deals has been in AI and in hardware. So 6 out of the 10 largest funding rounds that happened earlier this year have been in hard tech. We're saying it's the revolution and comeback of hard tech, and the majority of the rest were in AI. So companies like Neuralink, Anduril, etc. I think what's helpful to think about in context of global expansion is that we're seeing the most collaboration in those hot sectors. So in defense tech specifically, I know Shield AI has been expanding into Korea and into other partners and allies around the world. So we're starting to see the most collaboration again in those hot markets, and where there's a clear wider need for collaboration beyond, you know, creating a social platform as an example. But all this is good news for the Korean market, because since 6 of the 10 of those startups have been focused in hard tech. I know Daegu has a specialty in industrials and automotive and things of that nature, so that would be a great example of potential collaboration. I also wanted to underscore what you mentioned, Victor, around really understanding what's happening on the ground in each of your markets. Again, the data helps us understand what's going to be most successful in the States, but understanding investor motives in the States is also really quite significant for companies that we do see that are successful, whether that is multiples on return on investment or things of that nature. So I think a lot of the startups that we'll see best positioned for global collaboration in the States are, of course, in A and hard tech based on the metrics that I shared, but also those that have a deep understanding of what investors are looking for from a financial return perspective and ability to communicate that. I think that those are really key elements of global partnership.
Very good points, everyone, and I don't want to repeat the same things that were said. Katie's point, the last one that she just made, I think, it's not always about getting the VC funding. You don't always need to have VCs invest. There's other ways of finding good funding, and not every company needs to be VC backable. VCs inherently will be looking for returns on their investment, because their duty is to pay that money back to the limited partners. So if that company that you are building is not necessarily on that scaling projection or the return profile that the VCs will be looking for, the math is not mathing. It's just not going to be VC backed. There's other alternatives to seek. But when it comes to the ecosystem in general, I think for the longest time Silicon Valley used to be the destination, and I think now that no longer is the case. Silicon Valley is just a part of the puzzle. There's more and more regions emerging with significant talent availability, with with the demand side when it comes to the potential customers, with companies that are eager to pilot new technologies and integrate them into their businesses. Those are that happens globally, and that no longer is just Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is just one element of that, but it's Daegu, it's Europe, it's Japan, it's Tokyo, it's Latin America. All of these places are becoming more and more converged and equally as important. And what's important for startups to succeed globally? That is an old rule that still applies. Build something that actually fixes a problem, that addresses a problem. If you just build cool technology and flashy demo, that is not a business. If you just focus on a very elaborate and impressive pitch, that's not going to be enough. Have clarity how to build this, what exactly you are solving. The more clear your vision and story is, the more investors will like that as well and jump on your vision and your journey as well. So the fundamentals are still the same. Build something that the world needs, not something that is